Good morning everyone. Myself Vedanta Sawan. I welcome you all to the faculty enrichment program. Today we are going to see distributed database concept. But before starting with the distributed database concept, can anyone tell me what do you mean by database? Any idea about what do you mean by database? Record. Okay, records. Where are the records stored? In the cloud. Okay. So a database is nothing but it is collection of different tables, and the tables are stored in the form of records. So if I want to maintain the employee database, so the employee database will be having the details regarding employee number, employee name, salary of the employee, and so on. So all these details will be stored into the table. As and when we require the details, we will be fetching the records from the table and we will be operating on those records. Now we will see the difference first between centralized database and a distributed database, and then we will see what are the advantages of distributed database over the centralized database. So centralized database is a database wherein centralized database is a database wherein we are storing the data at a single location. But in case of a distributed database, we are storing the data at different sites. So the first picture is showing that there are sites, 5 sites are there, but the data is stored only at site number 2. Let us assume that at site number 2, we are storing the results of the student and about the Pune University. And let us assume that the university is having various departments like computer application department is there, commerce department is there, and so on departments are there. The drawback of this type of database is that if at a time number of users are retrieving the data from this type of database, many a times there will be bottleneck problem will be there. That means at site number 2, maximum load will be there and site number 2 processing speed will be decreased, due to which the bottleneck has occurred. Now, for that what we can do, if you have to avoid this bottleneck, we can distribute the data over different sites. So, in picture number 2, I have shown that same database is distributed at 4 locations. So, the advantage of this is that if you want to do any processing of the data, so suppose I am retrieving the data regarding commerce application, I will store the data about commerce in site number 5. Suppose computer application, I will store the data of computer application in site number 4. I will store the data of arts in site number 3. The advantage of this is that if you have to process only commerce data, if the commerce student want to see their result, they will fetch the data from site number 5. And site number 5, since it is having only commerce data, the bottleneck will not occur over here. The second disadvantage of a centralized database is, since the data is situated at site number 2 only, if site number 2 has a failure, so if n number of users at a time are trying to retrieve the data from site number 2, then after some time site number 2 may crash. So in that case, unless and until site number 2 repairs, we will not be able to fetch our result. So assume that right now the result of the university is declared, and if they are using a centralized database wherein the data is stored at a single location, and if n number of students at the same time are trying to give the query on site number 2. So what will happen, that site number 2 will be having the failure if at a time number of users are going to retrieve the data. So the drawback of this type of database is that unless and until you retrieve repair that site, you will not be able to see the result. Now here in case of this, I have shown that the data is stored at different sites. So here only commerce people can be seeing that data. Here site number 3, computer science people will be retrieving the data and so on. Then second thing is, the second advantage of the distributed database is fast retrieval of the records. So we will see how fast retrieval of records will happen. Second thing is, if one site fails, the system can still run. But to do this, we have to do the replication of the data. After some time, we will be seeing how to do the replication of the data. Now, coming to the main definition of a distributed database. Now, in case of a distributed database, what we are doing? We are distributing the logically related data across the different sites, and those sites are connected via the network. So, we define a distributed database as it is a collection of multiple logically related database which are distributed over the network. Now, this is the distributed database, and to do the operation of the distributed database, we require a software. That software is called as a distributed database management system software. So, the distributed database is a combination of the distributed database plus the distributed database management system software. Now, when the user is going to see the distributed database, the user is not knowing that whether the data is at different sites or not. The user is able to see that the data is coming from his location only. So, when the user will try to retrieve the data, he is not coming to know that my data is coming from site number 1, my data is coming from site number 2. So, this is the user's view. The user is seeing that this is the data. So, here red dots or colorful dots are showing that the database is there, and from that database the user is operating on that database. Now, actually in the distributed database, what happens? So, this is one side, this is the second side, this is the third side, and this is the fourth side. So, in the reality, when the system administrator is going to design this type of system, the system administrator has to first study what is the use of that system, and according to the use of the system system administrator has to bifurcate the different types of data, and he has to store the data at different location. And to operate that data, we require a distributed database management system software. So here one site is there, second site is there, third site is there, fourth site is there. So this is the actual reality. But the end user is not knowing any of this reality. The end user is only able to get the data. So the end user is feeling that as if the data is coming from his side only. But actually in case of the distributed database, the data is coming from different sites. Okay. Then classification of a distributed database management system. Now, depending upon whether the sites are using same sort of software or not, the classification is made. So, homogeneous itself is telling that all the sites are having same database management system software. Heterogeneous is telling that all the sites may not be having same sort of database management system software. Now here there can be different schema also. So we will see what I mean by schema. Schema is nothing but the structure of the table. Let us assume that there are two tables. One is the employee table and second is the department table. Now in the employee table, for the employee number, if I use the integer data type, so in the department also, for the department number, I should use integer, I should not use the numeric data type. So that is nothing but heterogeneous data type. In the heterogeneous data type, there can be schema difference also. So we will see what are the difference between the homogeneous distributed software and the heterogeneous. So here I have shown that this is a network, and across the network there are three sets. So this is department 1, this is department 2, and this is department 3. So let's take the example of a college. So in our college, electronics department is there, in our college commerce department is there, and a computer science department is there. If all the departments are using same database management system software, that's Oracle, that too 9i, then I can say that this type of database is a homogeneous distributed database. Now what I have done, here I have kept only the commerce details, here I have kept only the electronics details, and here I have kept only the computer science detail. So all sites are having the identical software, and all users are aware of each other. Means as a department 1 user, I am knowing that department number 3 is also there and department number 2 is also there. So appears to the user as a single user system. Now next is a heterogeneous software. Now in case of a heterogeneous database system, the sites are having different databases. So your SQL Server is there, your Oracle 9i is there, and your MS Access is there. So all of you are knowing which are the different database management system software. Might be all of you have used Access also. So here I have shown that Access is used to store the data. Here I have shown that SQL is used to store the data, and your Oracle is used to store the data. So here what is the difference? The database software is different. Plus, if there is a schema difference, schema means the table structure, then also I can say that this type of database is a heterogeneous distributed database. So different sites may be using different schema and the software, and the sites may not be aware of each other. So when I am trying to retrieve the data, I am not knowing that there is department number 1 site and there is department number 2 site. Now comes the local transaction and the global transaction. If department number 1 site is fetching the data from their sites itself, so that will be called as a local transaction. So local means it is happening at the same site. Now if department number 1 site is trying to fetch certain data from department number 2 site, so that will be called as a global transaction. So the we can say processing of that data is happening at site number 2, and the main thing is occurring at site number 1. So that is called as a we can say distributed database. Now the reasons for building the distributed database. First most reason is sharing of data. If you want to do the sharing of the data, then what we can do? We can keep the data at different sites. So site number 1 will be having same data, site number 2 will be having same data, site number 3 will be having same data. Now why I have copied the data? Any idea? क्यों copy किया मैंने? Why I have copied the data? Why not to keep at a single site?
If system will crash, so
yes.
Data.
Okay. Second thing. Okay. Let us take the example that there are our college is having branches at various locations. We'll take that a college is having a branch at Mumbai location, a college is having a branch at Bangalore location, and it is having the branch at Pune location. Now, every branch will have to calculate what will be the salary of the employee. Okay. So, every branch should have their own employee database. If they are not having their own employee database, what will happen every time, every month, whenever they have to calculate the salary, they have to take the help of the another side. So traversing of the data will take the time. So we are distributed over the network. When the data is coming from the network, if the data is stored at the nearby vicinity, so the data travels the time will take less. We can say the data travels the time will be less. Next is autonomy. Autonomy means each site owner has the control over the locally stored data. Means as a site administrator, I know that what type of data is residing onto my database. And whenever any site is demanding the data, I can put the restrictions on what type of data can the site be able to access. So if I want that from the employee database, only certain part should be accessible to other site. So as a site owner, I will be putting certain restrictions over. Next is higher system availability. So the drawback of the centralized database system was when the system was having failure, the whole database will be, means when the system is having failure, so unless and until that system recovers from the failure, the whole work will be affected.
So, there is no backup system for that? If we are collecting centralized data?
Yes, even if we are collecting the backup, what can happen? When we are collecting the backup at that time, every time it is not possible to store the backup. Every time it is not possible to store the backup. Every time it is not possible to take the backup. So, after some time we will come to that point also. So, higher system availability. So, in case of a distributed database, what can we do? we can think about which is the important data, and that important data will be copied at different locations, so that even if in the distributed database one site fails, that site work will not be affected. So that is called as a higher system availability. After some time we are going to come back to this point also. Now let us suppose that this is the distributed database. So here I have shown that employee database is there, and now I am taking the example that this is the centralized database. Okay, and this is the Mumbai site, this is the Bangalore site, and this is the Pune site. Where is the employee database situated? It is situated at only Mumbai location. First thing is that if a payroll application wants to calculate the salary of each and every employee, Mumbai people will be able to calculate it very faster because the employee database is situated at Mumbai itself. But if Bangalore site wants to retrieve the data, then every time they have to pass this internet, which will take more. Similarly here, Pune also application will have to traverse over the network so as to fetch the employee database. So the problem is that the Pune and Bangalore payroll application will run slowly since the data is kept at a single location. Now what we can do, instead of keeping the data at a single location, I can copy the data at different locations. Now when I am going to copy the data at different locations, I have to understand that the storage space is also important. So I should not copy the data which is not required by the site. So what we can do, we can think about fragmentation of the data. So from the employee database, I will just find out which are the Mumbai employees. For the Mumbai employees, I will only store those records onto the Mumbai site. I'll identify which are the Bangalore, we can say employees. We will keep the Bangalore employee database into the Bangalore site. Here also Pune, I'll only keep the Pune database into the Pune site. Okay. Again here there can be a disadvantage if this Bangalore site is down. Okay. So since we have kept the Bangalore data at only one site, if this site is also having problem, so I have gone for the distributed database. But if I have not done the replication of the data, replication means same copy of the data can be duplicated at different sites. So the important data should be duplicated so that our work should not be affected. So in the second thing what I have done, so here what I have shown that if Bangalore site is having certain problem, so unless and until Bangalore site gets repaired, the Bangalore work will not be carried forward. So in that case, we have to again go for the distributed database, and in that case we are not just thinking about database distribution, but we are going to think about what is the important database, and that important data should be copied, replicated, and it should be stored at different locations. So here I have shown that in previous case only Mumbai records were there. Now here I have copied Pune records. Okay. Here I have shown that Bangalore plus Mumbai record is also copied. Here Pune is also there and Bangalore is also there. So if this Bangalore site is having failure, then still the Bangalore employees can access the data from the Pune site. So never this type of applications will be affected. So ma'am, you had asked me certain question that in case of the centralized database, even if we are taking the backup, so why not to go for the centralized instead of going for the distributed database? The main advantage of going for the distributed database is in distributed database the work is going on parallel. Okay, but in case of the centralized database, only one site is doing the processing. So the processing speed will decrease if number of users at a time are attacking onto that site. But in distributed database, every site is doing their own work. So assume that the annual bonus of the employee has to be computed. So Mumbai site will do the working on that, Bangalore site will be doing the working on that, and Pune site will be doing the working on that. And
again I have a doubt. There is a distributed system. It may be possible there is a storage space is more used Because they
Yes,
are
yes.
their own data and again they are looking for other data.
Yes, yes. But nowadays, what is there that the people are not thinking about the storage. Okay. The main thing is that the data should be readily available whenever we want, and we are not going to copy every data. We are going to think about what is the important data, and according to that, we are going to apply two things. So whenever we are going for the distributed database system, when the system administrator has to develop that type of system, so he has to thoroughly understand what is the need behind developing that system, and then he has to do the fragmentation, and second thing he has to do the replication. Whole data should never be replicated, otherwise it will be redundant and still there are certain disadvantages. Now, so when we are going for the distributed database, first we have to do the replication, and second is we have to do the fragmentation. Replication means certain data of the database will be identified and it will be copied at different locations. So let's take example that I want to calculate the employee salary. So to calculate the employee salary, do I require the employee address? No, not at all. I require what is the employee number, what is the employee name, and what is the number of days he has worked. Sometimes we may require his department. So I'll identify what is that data, and only that data will be replicated. So assume that your table is having 100 columns. So out of that, I'll identify which are the important columns, and then I will do the fragmentation. And then that fragment will be copied at different locations. Okay. So in fragmentation, what we do in the fragmentation, a table will be either split horizontally or else it will be split vertically, depending upon our use. So in the previous case, I had shown that an employee database is there. Assume that 1 lakh employees are there. Out of that, some employees are belonging to Mumbai, some employees are belonging to XYZ city, and so. So I identify Mumbai employees, and only that tuples or else rows, records will be copied, fragmented, and will be kept at the different location. Again in fragmentation, I may apply the vertical fragmentation. So in the vertical fragmentation, I will think about which are the important columns, and only those columns will be replicated. So comes the next point, that is the data fragmentation type. So first is horizontal, vertical, and second thing is called as a mixed fragmentation. So in the horizontal, we are going to identify the records, and those records will be kept into different tables. In the vertical, we will identify which are the columns, and only those columns will be kept into some another database, or else I will say that some another table. And mixed means we will apply both horizontal and vertical fragmentation. So here I have shown one example that there is an employee database. I have not shown all the fields, only few fields I have shown: employee number, employee name, city, salary, designation, and department, and some number of other fields are there. Now in the Pune fragment, what I will do, I will select only those records where city is equal to Pune. So I have applied one we can say formula sigma, city is equal to Pune, and which is our original database. Our original database is employee, and this data will be stored into Pune. Similarly, I have now just retrieved the Mumbai records and I have kept into the Mumbai cell, and so on. So in this manner, the fragmentation occurs. So this is the example of a horizontal fragmentation. And in vertical fragmentation, what we do, we select, this is a symbol for projection. So what columns I want to show to the user? I want to show the employee number, employee name, and salary. So whenever I want to compute the salary, I am not interested in other views. So I will only keep this R1 fragment at each and every location. Now if I want to do the city-wise fragmentation, so here I can use sigma, city is equal to, so before this projection operation, I can use sigma, city is equal to Pune. So in R1 fragment, it will have only the employee number, employee name, and employee salary, where city is equal to Pune. and that fragment will be copied at Pune site, plus for the redundancy we may copy it at a different site also. Second, so this is called as a mixed fragmentation. Now we will see what are the advantages of the replication. First, main important advantages availability. If site number 1 is having problem, since my data is replicated at site number 2 and 3, never my work will be done. Second is increased parallelism. Parallel work will be going, we can say simultaneous work will be going, so the output or throughput of the system will be. Imagine that only one system is doing the calculation of the salary. So if it is going to compute the salary of 1 lakh employee, might be it will require 3 hours, and imagine that same work is distributed for 4-5 sites. So 4-5 sites at a time are working on computing the salary. So 3 hours, the 3 hours work will be reduced to 1 hour or else less than 1 hour also. So that is increased parallelism. Then reduce data transfer. Instead of transferring the data across the network, what we can do, we can store the data at the nearby vicinity. Okay. Now the drawback of the replication. First is increased overhead or updates. If I have copied the data about the address of employee at different sites, imagine this, and if the address of the employee changes, then I have to copy or else update the same address at different locations. Or else what will happen, that there will be inconsistency of the data. Inconsistency means mismatch of the data. So one site is showing address of Meenal ma'am as Pimpri and another site is showing address of Meenal ma'am as Mumbai. So there can be mismatch of data and we have to go on that. So that is nothing but increased overhead on the update. So as a distributed database administrator, the duty of the distributed database administrator is that whenever any update occurs, that update should be intimated to every site. So for that, the distributed database management system is using a catalog. So in the catalog, it is having the details about what type of data replications are there and where the replicas are kept. So when the replicas have to be updated in one query, it will be sent to every site. So that work has to be managed by the distributed database administrator. And additional storage space is required. As ma'am asked the question that bit obviously when I am copying the data at different sites, additional storage space will be required. So if I want to really think the storage space should also be, we can say we should be able to use the storage space efficiently, then the distributed database administrator, before going for the distributed database, has to understand every site's need, and according to that he has to think if what data has to be replicated. A site should never have that data which it will never use, otherwise it will increase the cost. Okay, so this is regarding the distributed database system and the centralized database system. So nowadays every company is going for the distributed database system, since the companies are having the branches at various locations. Thank you. Any question?
Application in this case, like distributed database system, can we say that if there is book my show, when the tickets are booked, are they using the same system?
Yes.
Because
Nowadays,
in many places people
yes,
are booking the
yes.
tickets.
Nowadays, whenever you are trying to retrieve the data from the site, they're asking you whether to download the data from server 1, server 2, server 3 and so on. So if you are saying server number 1, okay, so it will fetch the data from server number 1. If the server number 1 is having failure, so immediately the system will divert you to site server number 2 and so on.
How
So
much time it will take? Because
it will take fractions of second. So recently this result was declared. Advanced J2E result was also declared.
Yes.
So number of users were trying, number of students were trying to retrieve what was that result. So that problem was there, that and number of users were students were trying to we can say retrieve the data from the same site. So bottleneck had occurred. So immediately they diverted you to site number 2, site number 3 and site number 4. Any more questions? Thank you.